Hey folks, welcome to the weekly live stream. This is Tweet FEV. You can call me Tweet, you can call me Dan, call me whatever you want. So today, we have a lot of work to do. Race season ended way too early last year because of, things and stuff and pandemics. So I haven't really touched my race quads in a while. We have a race next Saturday, so yeah, I got a lot of work to do. Oh man. How's everybody doing this week? I hope you are having a fantastic week, a good weekend, got a chance to fly, get out, do something fun. The weather here has been absolute dog snot, so not a whole lot of flying going on. There's always indoor flying, which is better than nothing, Everybody, welcome to the live stream. There are some people that got here super early in. Man, that is amazing. Joseph, welcome. Eric Allen, as always, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Jimmy, welcome. Felix FPV, welcome as well. L. Leston, a perennial, thank you for being here. S-E-L-C-U-K. Sluck? I don't know, dude. I'm sorry. I'm going to butcher that one. RC Attic, welcome. Carpeth Carpet FEV, there we go. Shenanigans, welcome. Rick Cepeda, as usual, welcome. One of the more frequent contributors to my Discord. And by the way, if you want to get on my Discord, help out there, plenty of Q&A going on there, just general discussion, head over to tweetfpv.com. There you will find a link to all sorts of tweet-related stuff, Discord, Patreon, affiliate links, email, you name it, that's where you can get to it. That's where you can get to me, get to my Discord, get to all the wonderful people that are in this hobby. Mike Bergman, what's up, gangsta? How you doing, man? Dion B, here in the Netherlands. We're going to get actual snow for the first time in a lot of years. Expected snow for a few days. Speaking of snow, rumor has it, it's going to snow here next weekend, which should make for a very interesting multi-GP race. Most likely we'll probably cancel it if it does. But here in southern Alabama, it does not snow very often. But they're talking about it possibly snowing next weekend, which will turn this place into a panic, emergency state. Dogs and cats will be on fire. Things will just... Oh, the first year I was here, it snowed, and it was like the world was coming to an end. It was quite hilarious coming from someone who just moved from northern Michigan. So it's interesting. Oh man, so live stream today powered by my friends over at Ruby Moon Coffee. Again, another awesome brew from those guys. If you're looking for some good organic small business coffee, Ruby Moon Coffee, rubymooncoffee.com. You can find the link in the video description. That's what I'm drinking. They are not sponsoring this. I just really like their product, and it's also a guy I work with who's a real good friend. They're making some pretty sweet coffee. He roasts it at home. Roasts it. It has to sit for like 3 days, and he bags it up and sends it to you. Man, that's good stuff. From Turkey. Oh my God, that's not anywhere near where I'm at. Welcome to the live stream. RC Attic says it's snowing in Missouri. I just assume it's always snowing in Missouri if it's wintertime. Same thing it was with Michigan. Does he do international shipping? That's a great question. I don't know. Sorry there. LS and already have 3 feet of snow on the ground. And if it snows where you're at, what do you do to your quads? I moved it so I can't show you. You conformal coat things. Conformal coat everything. Everything. Heck, I'd conformal coat the inside of my radio if I lived there. Again. So, anyways, today we've got a lot of tearing quads apart, putting quads together, moving things around. The last couple of years of racing, I've been kind of developing a feel for what it is I like and what I don't like. Last year, I went onto the box frame train, and I really like these box frame quads. They fly really well. They're incredibly durable. Surprisingly, you wouldn't think so, but they are. And I really like them. They're a bit on the heavy side, unfortunately, so that means we have to be very careful about what parts we put on them. So we got to pick light parts. This one here was one of my lighter builds. These are running, it's all 20 by 20 stack, really light camera, not a lot of TPU, really light motors. These are the Brother Hobby UC 2207 1750 kV motors. Built up a similar quad, but with a 30 by 30 stack, which I don't really like to use 30 by 30 on anything anymore. And I was using the T-Motor Velux 2207. What kV are these stinking things? Old man eyes. 1750. These motors are heavy, and that made a big difference in this quad. Still flew good, but need to knock the weight off of it. So we're going to be moving some parts around. Manic FPV, welcome. Plus, I've got some acro quads I want to start working on, which means I got to pull some parts out of certain quads to move to another quad. I sold my Diatone Exorcist frame. I know, sad day. I just couldn't. Oh, Dion, sorry, man. That's unfortunate. Ruby Moon Coffee only ships to the U.S. Sorry. I sold my Diatone Exorcist frame. Sad day, but I couldn't bring myself to fly it because it flew unbelievably well. It was incredibly stiff. I don't know who you are and why you're calling me, so ignore that. It was just hanging on the wall. It looked pretty, but it's time to give it to somebody else. Let them do it. So sold it. So I have a skinned quad sitting here on the bench that I need to get some parts off of and reclaim into other quads. We haven't done this in a while, so let's go ahead and fire up the I Love Myself box and see what we have. Rob Logan, what up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, the Exorcist is too nice to beat on. It will break, and I will eventually break it, and I'll be super sad. But it's not, I don't think it's really a frame to fly. It's a frame to look at what it is we can do. Oh, let's get some tunes going here. All right, folks, if it's too loud, too quiet, let me know. I still am doing some work on my audio setup. I need to get a mixer type thingy. JFEV, welcome. So there we're at. That's where we're at as of today. This thing only moves in 10 sub increments, so I Love Myself box, yeah. Super high self-esteem to have one of those things. No, it was just a fun little project with Arduino Nano, a couple of these LED cells. So it's a 8 by 8 cell, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 8 by 8 cell, 4 of them across. I have a 18650 packed in the back of here with a charging board, a Wi-Fi module, and that's how I charge it, and that's how I monitor how many pixies are inside the battery still. And then it'll also switch to Instagram followers after a certain amount of time. All coded, kind of someone else's code, but kind of tweaked for my own purposes. That's how I do Arduino's type stuff. Oh man. How should I discharge my lithium-ion 4S battery? By flying it. No, actually, you can use your battery charger to discharge it. If your battery charger has that ability, most battery chargers are very slow to discharge. It's like maybe a quarter amp at that, maybe half. The best tool I've ever had for discharging batteries is... Be right back. And I know this seems stupid and just like a complete waste of time and money, but these things are probably one of the most used piece of equipment that I have for this hobby. Let's get this skin quad out of the way. So the ISDT FD100 and the FD200. These are just big, massive heat sinks. You plug your battery in, it sucks the power out of it, turns it into heat, blows it out the back. But These are really useful, especially if you go out for like a day of racing, you charge up a dozen 6S packs, you don't fly them all, you get rained out. What are you gonna do to get them down storage voltage? Plug them into this bad boy, and this will discharge them very quick. You can even put all your packs on a parallel board and hook them up to this thing and just go through them real quick. Probably takes about 5 minutes. I mean, this thing will discharge up to 25 amps, so I mean, it'll pull some power. But charge it. Use basic lithium polymer pack voltages. It's basically the same stuff. 3.8, 3.65. It's as long as you're close, you're fine. You don't have to get crazy with it. Oh, what's the lowest I can go on 4S battery? 4S lithium-ion, I believe, is 2.9 volts, but it depends on the manufacturer of your cells. And obviously, the lower you go, the more damage you do to it. Yeah, 2.8 to 3 volts is the typical range, but you do want to kind of look at what your manufacturer of that cell specifies, because they're not all exactly the same, but that general voltage range is about average. Mike Bergman, dude, you hit that right on the nose. I watch AVE all the time. I cannot get enough of that guy's content. Super awesome. Test Pilot, how you doing, buddy? Little channel type live stream stuff. If you want to get a hold of me or you want to get my attention, type @tweetfpv. It'll show up in yellow. It will show up in yellow on my screen, kind of get my attention. Also, hit that super chat button down there at the bottom, and I will be sure to answer your question to the best of my abilities. Or, you know what I mean. Smoke stopper discharges too. Yep, but it's smoke stoppers are pretty. Well, they're like hitting a nail with a hammer. Like they'll discharge it till it's dead. This thing is smart. Even the small one is really good. It'll discharge up to 3.8 volts, and you can actually change the voltage range. On this one, it's not as easy as you can on this one. This one's Bluetooth connected, has all sorts of bells and whistles. But this, honestly, it seems silly, but this is probably one of the most used pieces of equipment I have on my bench. Jimmy hit it right on the nose. Look at your 18650 data sheet. It'll tell you what the critical voltage is. And you want to remember, if you're actually flying it and you set your voltage alarm at 2.8 volts, since 18650s cannot provide the current that we're used to with our lithium-ion batteries, you may dip way below that 2.8 volt threshold, and you will be causing damage to your batteries. Every time you fly and every time you charge and discharge, you cause a little bit of damage. It's kind of the nature of batteries. But to keep it to a minimum, you want to try to shoot. I would probably say I would make my minimum voltage like 3 volts per cell, and then I know I have a little bit of buffer. Typically when you land and shut down, your voltage will creep up a little bit. It's not as noticeable on lithium ions because you're drawing such a low, slow current out of them, unlike your lithium polymer batteries where we're taking high currents out of them. And when you stop, it kind of levels out. You know, they always creep up. I find that lithium ions don't do that so much because we're just sipping out of that battery. Will the DJI system be soon? Yes, it should be. A lot of the retailers in the U.S. Have already done pre-orders before Chinese New Year. If you're living in an area where, like, if you're ordering from somebody who doesn't already have stock on the way, it's gonna be a while, just because of Chinese New Year. After Chinese New Year, I'm sure they'll be easily found. Yeah, out of the batteries that I've thrown in the fire, the 18650s are they are usually the most entertaining when they touch off. True story. CNHL Black Series, not bad packs. They're awfully big and heavy for what they are, like physically large. No experience with the Talon FAT batteries. Zeno, thank you. Thank you for the nice comment there. Appreciate it. JFV, yeah, but I need to set it on my radio, so it'll be 1R9 will be critical to land. Fine. I don't know what you're asking there. Oh, because you're KISS, no OSD. Gotcha. One of the things I always thought you could do to get around the KISS no OSD thing is to get a camera that has a built-in OSD where it reads your battery voltage. You could just wire that into VBAT. It seems like for racers and for KISS was why they did that. Yeah, this song's pretty not good. Don't like this song. All right, turn it down. Let me know how that sounds. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Okay, so let's get to it here. Yeah, pretty no good. I don't know what the heck song that was, but I need to delete it. Hang on, I'll go back. What is it called? Yeah, all right. Lower. I gotta delete that song. I didn't like it. Bye-bye. Goodbye forever. She gone. She gone. It'll never be around to bother us again. All right. So I need to unsolder this thing. Yeah, annoying whistling song. Rick Cepeda, I've been thinking about buying an FR Sky radio and a few different receivers that I will never use. But I think, well, it will help with helping people in Discord. They have so many problems. Yeah, you know, a lot of my knowledge about, you know, all the receiver game is because of just the issues I've had. Some people tend to have more issues than others. Also, there's a varying level of willing to follow direction in a methodical process that I find slightly frustrating with trying to help people. And you know, the FR Sky radio stuff, the issue is the first time you do it, just trying to find the right stuff to put on it, because there's OpenTX on FR Sky's site, there's OpenTX at OpenTX Companion, that's the one you should use. Then there's, so people need to understand how the radios work. OpenTX is not firmware. OpenTX is your operating system, kind of like Android OS or iOS. I think if that was broken down more clearly, people would understand this a little bit more. And then the firmware in the radio is the internal transmitter module, which there's a bunch of different kinds. I don't know. It's tough. Select, I hope that I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. What are you using for remote control? So my primary radio is the TBS Tango 2. This guy here. I like this radio a lot because I like the form factor. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, a lot of things I do like about it. I get often asked which radio would I recommend for somebody just starting out to get. And that's a really loaded question, but the radio I recommend that anybody starts out with, if you want to have the most options going forward from day one of your purchase, is this. This is super unpopular. This is the FR Sky X9 Lite S model, because it's got the momentary little clicky buttons. This radio can do everything. There's not just this radio, but all the FR Sky radios can do everything. Jumper cannot do everything. The Tango 2 cannot do everything. The Radiomaster cannot do everything. The limitation that those radios will have is they can't do access protocol. That's basically all the FR Sky receivers that will be coming out basically from here forward. FR Sky radios are the only ones that are going to be able to do that. This can do tracer, can do crossfire, can do ghost, can do R9, can do FR Sky, it can do R8, it can do all these things, but that's also with a big asterisk next to it. To do those things, it needs modules, just like crossfire needs a module, just like tracer, just like ghost, and also for D8 for micros, you'll need a module to make that work. So this radio has the most capability out of any radio on the market. And I'm leaving Spectrum and Futaba and all that out of the mix because it's just not, they're not super relevant in the hobby. Yes, they exist. Yes, they exist in the hobby, but no, they're not super relevant. Hope access protocol will be reverse engineered eventually. Probably not. I don't know if there's enough want in the market for them to reverse engineer access. Ergonomics are the most important to me, but I guess you get used to anything. But it's for the Nirvana. Yeah, Nirvana. I really like that radio. I like the ergonomics on it, but I have my own thoughts on that radio. And another reason I really like this radio is full-size Hall effect gimbals. The Tango 2's gimbals are a little bit smaller in travel and size. The thing I do like about the Tango 2 is no little dingus switches on top to get busted off, because these switches, they break pretty easily, throwing it in and out of a bag. Folds down nice and small, the gimbals fold down, and I'm all about lightweight and portability. Like that. I do like this radio a lot, and this is the one I primarily use. What do I wear as glasses? Oh, yeah. For my goggles, Orca FPV1s. Best goggle on the market. I had HDO2s. I liked them. They didn't fit very well. Fat Shark changed their mold between the HD3s and everything else to the HDO2s, and I did not like the way they fit after that. And I also fly DJI too, which obviously you only have one choice as far as DJI goes. I find the Tango 2 to be too thick. You think so? Doesn't seem too thick. I guess compared to what? It's definitely just as thick as the X9 Lite. It's a little different contour, different shape to it. If you like the kind of the gamepad size type radio, then this is your deal. If you want more of a traditional box radio, then this is it. I have had or have darn near every radio out there that's not Futaba or Spectrum, and I like these. Let's see, I've got so many radios, I don't know where I put them. Oh, here we go. This is the latest radio that I picked up. This is a nice little radio if you're looking for a budget option. The Radiomaster Tx12. It's not a bad radio. It's small. You see, you know, it's a pretty small radio. Small gimbals. It's pretty full featured. I like this radio. I'm not going to use it, but I do like it. It's a good option. It's got some nice features: folding handle, removable antenna, 18650 internal charging. It's nice. It's a nice radio. Nano Storm Pilot. I love my Spectrum. You know, I'll be honest, I've never really used a Spectrum radio. Everybody who has them really likes them, but they're just not very prevalent in the quad world. They're definitely fixed wing oriented, I think, more than anything else. That's another thing I don't like about the Tango 2. There's no trim switches. So if you're flying fixed wing, you can do trims, but it's a real pain in the butt. Whereas like the X9 Lite, it has physical trim switches. Let's see, Ricardo, another FR Sky Advantage, availability of spares for radios. This is very true, yeah. Free range chicken, welcome. Have you tried Express LRS? No, I have not. I want to. My mom's calling. Hang on a second, guys. Oh, sorry about that, guys. My mom is over at my grandmother's house. She's 95 or 96, something like that. So whenever she calls, I drop everything I can to talk to her. So I don't know how much longer I'll be able to. She's doing really good. She's probably one of the toughest people I have ever known in my life. She's, like I said, 95. She's been living by herself in her own home for the last 12 years. Still drives herself to church and Walmart for food. She has one lung. She had tuberculosis as a kid. She has one kidney. Like, she is a tough old lady and sweet as hell. My mom, on the other hand, not so much. All right, so back to the live chat. Sorry, guys. Again, certain priorities, you know what I mean? Let's see. Shenanigans. I'll stop. I'll stop what? What are you going to stop? Scotty Dice, does the analog converter for DJI goggles work well? Yes, it works extremely well. It works very well. It's not a converter. All it is just all the Fat Shark modules just do regular video out, just like a composite signal, and it's basically just a line into them. Family Guyver? Whatever. Can you put a multi-protocol module on the Tango 2 to run D8 mode for micros? Yes, you absolutely can. You have to have a new enough Tango 2, so version 2 or 3, and then you can buy this module bay that goes on the back. Then you could put a multi-protocol module on there, not like this one. For some reason, the FR Sky branded XJT Lite module does not work in the Tango 2. Big surprise, right, guys? But the Vantech, the iRange X, and the TBS multi-protocol module will work in this. But that's how I run Tracer on my Tango 2, just for reference, is module bay. Back to the chat. Eric Allen upgraded from FSI 6X to the Jumper T18 and was able to use my FR Sky receivers. Yep, that is one of the big advantages of the Jumper radios is they can use older FR Sky radios. They won't be able to use access radios going forward, but there's enough old FR Sky radios or receivers and the D8 quads, things like that, that you'll be fine for a long time. And to be honest, I would probably just go Crossfire or Tracer or Ghost going forward. But FR Sky does have some pretty neat things coming down the line. They have FPort 2.0, which is capable of a 4 millisecond latency in their race mode. FPort 1.0, or the original FPort, is rated to 5 milliseconds latency on its RC signal, so that's pretty cool. They've released the firmware for using the X9D with that. I have some beta prototype firmware for my X9 Lite. There's still some bugs we're working through, but it's something I've been working on the side with FR Sky on. Let's see, Ricardo, I'm a sucker for a bargain. What's your thoughts on a quad? Transtech Freedom 218. Let's go see what the heck that thing is. Transtech Freedom 218. Transtech Freedom. Transtech Frog. Is that what you're talking about, this guy? Go away. I want that. Let's see. That is a lot of old components. If this is the frame you're talking about, I don't want to sound like a snob or anything, but there are some things here that I definitely do not like. This is a terrible idea. First time you crash, you're going to break that SMA, break the back of the carbon fiber frame. These are old Brother Hobby Tornado motors. They were actually good motors back in the day. They're probably still decent motors. That's a old mini cam, so it's a little outdated. There's still a few mini cams out there. Nothing wrong with it. It's either a Swift or a Sparrow. Let's see, camera. New version with a fox ear. All right. I mean, this is probably a big reason why I just wouldn't do it. Just the F3 in there. I don't think it'd be worth $175. That's just my opinion, though. And I think that's a lot of outdated equipment that are in that's in that. Is it going to work fine? Probably. It'll probably be better than an old Vortex, which has all proprietary stuff. Let's see, the TX16S is worth it coming from a FSI6. It's going to be night and day difference. Absolutely, you're 100% correct. So, do I have a sponsor? Kind of. I have an affiliate with Banggood, Get FPV, Insta360, Beta FPV, a couple others. If you want to check them out, you can go to my website right there. And this is my website. If you want to get to my social media type stuff, YouTube, Patreon, Discord, if you want to join my Discord server, Instagram, Facebook, email. FPV Crate, I'm an affiliated sponsor with them. Over on Etsy, I sell my radio grips. Amazon, obviously, everybody's Amazon. Banggood, Get FPV, Beta FPV, and Insta360. Rob Logan. Bad. Yeah, she's one heck of a person. It's gonna be a very sad day when she's no longer with us. Unfortunately, she lives 1,000 miles away from me, so I try to talk to her as much as I can. Wow, I thought you'd have an Armaton rooster. I used to have an Armaton rooster. Just moved on to different things. Rick Cepeda, will a 20x20 stack fit inside the tiny trainer frame with a 16x16 to 20x20 adapter? Let me look. I know you asked me this and I totally forgot to answer your question over on the Discord. Hang on. I've got actually a bare frame here somewhere. Grab it. So I think the issue you're going to run into is height, because there is not a lot of room in this frame. So you do have 16x16 spacing in the center. You might make it fit, but you're going to run into clearance issues between the canopy, especially if you have to use an adapter to get it up off the carbon, then to adapt it from 16x16 to 20x20. You're losing probably a good 5-6 millimeters, and it's a tight build. This is really designed to be around an AIO build more than anything. So you might make it work, you might not. My recommendation would be to probably find an AIO that fits. Diana B, really hope more people adopt Express LRS soon. Yeah, I definitely want to try it out. I just haven't had the time or the money to get into it. Do I prefer Tracer over Crossfire? It depends. I race a lot. My race quads are going to be all Tracer. As far as any acro quads where you're going to be in really difficult RF environments like trees, behind buildings, concrete, things like that, Crossfire. Tracer's not really designed for range. It's designed for ultra low latency competition. Tracer really shouldn't be advertised as a long range protocol, because it's not. It's a high speed protocol, or it's a high speed communication system, not protocol. Armaton Rooster on eBay. What are your thoughts on it? Don't do it. There's a lot of counterfeit Armaton products out there. The reason why the Armaton frames are $100 a piece is because they have a lifetime no questions asked warranty, but they do ask one question: where the hell did you buy it from? And although the warranty used to be transferable from owner to owner, I'm not sure if it is anymore, but I wouldn't buy an Armaton frame anywhere other than from Armaton or a authorized retailer. Again, just my opinions. Is the Fat Shark Dominator V3 still a good goggle? The Dom V3 was always a good goggle and always will be a good goggle. But compared to the goggles that are available right now, it is not hugely behind the curve, but it is behind. Most high-end goggles now are using OLED panels, which are a huge difference. Fat Shark still insists on using the world's worst DVR, whereas Orca has a unbelievable DVR, 60 frames per second. I think it's a 720p image. If you're going to fly and you want to watch your footage back and you're not doing the GoPro thing, or you're doing micros, the Orca has a awesome DVR. As far as the receiver modules go, yeah, they're all the same. Orca's doing a lot of different stuff with the FPV Connect module, where you can do live streaming over their firmware updates. A lot of things that are, quite frankly, useless, but nice little features that other manufacturers don't have. But if you can find a set of Dom V3s and you don't have goggles, or if you need a spare set, they're not bad goggles. A lot of people had issues with how big the screens are. They can't see the edges, they get blurry. Usually like a set of +2 diopters clears that up for people that have good vision to start with. And that's another thing with like the HDO 2s, is that you can't use diopters. So if the focus adjustment in there isn't enough for your eyes, you're kind of hooped. Like you can't put diopters. At least I don't think you can put diopters in them. They don't have provisions for it. Maybe somebody's come out with something that'll work, but that is an issue with those. Whereas like the Orcas, they still have the old traditional slide-in diopter holders like that. I like the Orcas, I'll put it that way. I like them a lot. Is the Dom V3 capable of shark bites? I don't know. They do take HDMI, so I'm assuming they would work. I think one of the issues with Fat Shark and Bite Shark, it automatically defaults to a 16:9 image on the HDMI input, whereas the Orcas you can run 4:3 or 16:9. I know it seems like I'm trying to sell the Orcas, but I'm just giving you comparisons, that's all. Favorite flight controller and ESC. Let's see, favorite flight controller and ESC. It's mostly whatever, like an iFlight stack. They're Sussex Twin G. I typically fly only 20x20 stacks. Another good one is anything made by Mamba, or not Mamba, but Diatone's Mamba series are really good stacks. They're, I mean, with all this stuff, there are failures. I mean, it's cheap Chinese electronics. It's amazing that they fly for what we pay for them, to be quite frank. There are plenty of issues out there with them, but in general, they're very, very good. Rick Cepeda, RDQ has 2 AOs that I'm looking to try. First is the Hack RC with 20 amp ESC, and the X is the JEH MC with 25 amp ESC. Gonna run 1404, 16,000 kV motors. Gonna fly more 3S than anything. Go with the higher amp rating. The JH EMCU I've heard are mostly reliable. Hack RC is kind of a mixed bag. But for that quad and the size motors you're running, I would go with a higher amp rating overall. And here's something you might want to pay attention to is Flight 1 has released Falco X for many, many different flight controllers now. It used to be just the Flight 1 boards, a Maytech F411 targets, and the Mamba F411 targets. They have just recently opened it up to a whole slew of manufacturers. So right here, now they have licenses for non-Flight 1 flight controllers. Flight 1, I've flown Falco X on a few quads and I really, really like it. So this is something I pay attention to for future flight controllers that I'm buying. Here are the different targets that are available to put Falco X on. So this is something you might want to think about before you buy one, is what the target is and whether you can put Falco X on it. So it used to just be the Maytech F411 and the Mamba F405. Now it's not a lot, but there are quite a few here. So something to consider. Oh, the Armington Rooster on eBay isn't a frame, it's a custom build with KISS. I don't know if I should buy it. Hey Octane, I'll make you a moderator for just a minute. Go ahead and drop a link to that listing. I'd like to take a look at that. Ricardo, which Lewis script do you run, do you use on your X9 Lite? Which Lewis script? I just use the Betaflight Lewis script and the Crossfire Lewis script. Where do you sign up for the giveaway? We haven't talked about that yet. We'll get to that. Eric Allen, the only problem I've had with JHMCU is the USB plug knocks off easily. Okay. Matt Fisher, I'm late. Never too late, buddy. How's everything going? Things are going very well. Got a lot of work to do. If I could ever get to it. Guys with all your questions. All right. So, get these motors off this gutted quad here. This flight controller I didn't really care for. This was an older, I think, an F4 stack from iFlight. It's got pinned connections between the ESC and the flight controller. Never a big fan of that, and I don't recommend anybody go with anything like that if you have the option. Unless the price is right. Price is always a contributing factor with everything I do, to be quite honest. So, I was going to do a giveaway today. I was going to give away a set of motors. How do you guys like the idea of that? Somebody want to win a set of motors today? -37. Yeah, I mean, why not? YOLO, right? Sit inside your car, sit inside the house, just don't crash, be all right. Son of a biker says, hails to the yeah. Motors are always useful. This is a very true statement. All right. Well, I got the motors off of there. Try to get that, need to grab a pair of pliers, get that receiver out of there. It's an older RXSR. That sounds funny calling an RXSR old because they're not really all that old. Sorry if I'm out of frame, guys. It's Still trying to figure out how to go about doing work on the bench since I'm not at my normal like workbench. I'm at my kind of streaming PC. These were good motors. I really like these. These were the Racer Star SICK 2207s. These are actually very, very good motors. Way more better than I thought they'd be. Let's see. Athex, did I miss a question from you? So you got a question. Oh, my Dom V3 just died. That is a bummer. What happened to it? I got a feeling you're telling me here. Module not turn on and change the module board. Nothing. DVR board is passing 5 volts and everything. Rapid fire. Eric Allen has basically the best question to ask. Did you turn it off? Because there is a switch underneath the Fat Shark goggles to turn the module power on and off. Zeno, any tips for motor wire soldering without getting the last few millimeters of wire inside the silicone hard? Use less solder. You can also do, so what you're talking about is a phenomenon called wicking the wire. That's when you use too much solder and too much heat and the solder flows up into the jacketing and actually creates a very weak joint underneath there where you can't even see if it does fail because that's where it's going to fail. A couple ways to do that. You can use a set of anti-wicking tweezers. Basically, it's a little heat sink that goes between the jacket and the exposed wire, and it keeps the solder from flowing. It keeps the heat from flowing up the wire. That's the key. It's the heat. The solder is going to follow the heat. You can use anti-wicking tweezers, or you can cut more. You can expose more wire, solder it, and then trim the wire down. If you kind of follow what I'm saying, so you would say maybe strip off like that much wire and then tin the wire, but tin it from the tip back and then stop before you get to the jacketing. Then you can trim the wire down if it's something you're really trying to avoid. You could do higher heat for less duration, so less dwell time. That's why I run my soldering iron full bore, 850 Fahrenheit, 3 or 400 degrees Celsius all the time. Because I prefer less dwell time over anything else. Oh, back to the chat. I lost you. All right, let's see. You said if I put Armatin into eBay, search comes up. Let's take a look. You said it was a kissed out Armatin? There's a couple of them on here. Octane, so there's a couple Armatin quads in there. What price is it at right now? For 120 bucks, okay. Let me take a quick look again. For 120 bucks, buy it now? That's, yeesh, that's pretty, well, okay, so it has blaster motors on it. I think, if I'm looking at the right one. So we got some blaster motors. Those are cheap motors. So it's individual ESCs. Probably BLHES. I would doubt they'd be 32s. Most people with 32s run a telemetry wire and not just the signal wire. Boxer antenna. So it's got crossbar on it. Oh no, these are BL32 ESCs. I'm guessing. I probably should look at the description. Let's see. What's it say? DOI BL32 ESCs. Okay, cool. TBS Unify HV crossfire receiver. 120 bucks. Yeah, it's not a bad deal. Provided it actually works. I would ask them to send you a video of it actually flying. Like a current video of it flying. Oh, okay, here we go. Different one. There we go. $2204s, maybe. Kiss flight controller, Schizo motors. That's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. I would see if you can get a proof of original purchase of the frame for him from this person. That way, if it did die or you did break the frame, you could claim the warranty from Armatan. I'm not sure if they've changed their warranty procedures, but if they have, I would definitely look into that, like what's required. Let's see, Ricardo, a few months ago you tested new FrSky receivers, Archer. Do you recommend the Archer M+? What is it compared to? The Archer M+ compares to the old XM receiver, the non-diversity receiver, except for it has F-port and full telemetry. It doesn't really compare to a whole lot. If you're looking to put it in like a micro build, you need it to be as small as possible and only want to deal with 1 antenna. The M+ is great. If you want a full-featured, full-range diversity receiver, the Archer RS is the way to go. I would mostly steer towards the Archer RS than the M, just because it's going to have a better coverage pattern. Aethix, contact Fat Shark. I've heard many times they will actually honor the warranty for goggles that are way out of warranty, so it would be worthwhile reaching out to those guys. How many drones are currently ready for flight? For flight, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6, but how many race quads are ready for flight? I've got 1 right now, and I want to change some stuff around on it before the race next weekend, if we have it. Yeah, exactly. The parts alone are not a bad value. ARC. Robert Ortlet, blunt tweezers. These are ceramic tipped. Ceramic tipped non-conductive ceramic. Wow, words. Ceramic tipped tweezers, and they are non-marring. High heat crew. There's only one way to do it. Lots of hot. Matt Fisher says, how do we win some motors? Well, I have some motors. I know I've said that already. I just don't know which motors to give away. That's how many motors I have right now. I have a set of these guys, and I got a set of these guys. Which ones do you guys want? EDOC, that is, yeah, true. Is it a bad idea to buy batteries secondhand? Yeah, it's a terrible idea. I wouldn't do it. Unless you know the person you're buying the batteries from. Manic, what frame do you run for your race setup? I run the Floss 3 Lite, and my go-to frame has been the Pyrocube frames. I am a massive fan of the cube type frames. These fly extremely well. I've got someone behind me. Noise. That one right there. She's not feeling good, and Mom went shopping, so she's just kind of hanging out with me for the day. All right, so shipping to the Netherlands would be probably more expensive than buying them new. That is probably true. The OSA box frame looks like the best of the box frames. I have not tried that. Let's see what that look like. It looks a lot like a pyro frame, to be quite honest. It looks a lot like it. So this frame was this pyro frame. It has a different name for it before it became the pyro frame. This was a frame used by the Heart of America crew for an entire season. I can't remember what they called it, but this looks a lot like the pyro frame, except for the pyro frame has it has extra bracing across the top of all the arms, so it not only has a horizontal, but it has a vertical piece of carbon fiber. This frame is just unbelievably strong. I have beaten the living dog snot out of this frame, and I've only broken maybe one arm, and I was surprised that I hadn't broken it sooner. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people tend to go with whatever frame the multi-GP champs are using. I'm not there at all. I go for more durability at this point. I thought that was your kid for a second. What transmitter should I get if I have a budget of 140 pounds? What's a pound? What's a pound to US? 140 pounds to US. Any perspective here? About 100, oh, about 200 bucks? Damn, big ball. Well, I don't know. It depends what you want to do. Robert Orlip, did I pick up the XR? Yes, I did. It's over right there. Yeah, Octane, what kind of flying do you plan on doing? Do you plan on flying wings, just quads? You racing? You just general acro? Are you looking? It's going to kind of depend on what you're looking to do. And Archangel Radiomaster with Crossfire is very hard to go wrong. I would say without knowing what it is you're looking to do, if you're looking to do anything specific, that would be my recommendation. Radiomaster with Crossfire. And if you're looking to pick one up, if you wouldn't mind, if you think you feel like help me out, go to my website, tweetfpv.com, and click any of those affiliated vendors down there, and I get a small portion of what you purchase. If you purchase anything, I get a small cut. It's an easy way to passively help me out. Freestyle, just quads. Okay, yep. If the Radiomaster is not too big of a radio, then I would say the Radiomaster with Crossfire. Just for size comparison, because she's a big boy, I can tell you that. Here is the Radiomaster, and here is the X9 Lite S, just to give you an idea of the size difference. thickness is, this is a little thicker, not that much thicker, but it kind of depends on ergonomics too. A lot of people like the QX7. I thoroughly hated the QX7 just because I did not like the ergonomics. I couldn't reach the inside of the travel, the way the gibbles were set up. Yeah, okay, Ricardo, the tandem radio is, it looks a lot like the Horus X12. Let's see. So this is the X20 tandem here. She's a big girl. It has a HD screen on it. Supposedly they say it can feed in a HD video signal. I think it has the micro bay. I want to say it had. I think it had R9 built into it. I could be wrong about that though. But that's the tandem. Runs Ethos, it doesn't run OpenTX. Has little storage bays in the handle. Runs everything. It does have racing mode, or it's going to be set up for racing mode. And this is the stuff that always bothers me, is when they say, oh, we have this feature available in the near future, kind of like the touchscreen for the jumper radios or the Radiomaster radios. Still don't exist. But here, if you want to read about it. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's talk about giveaway today. So I have two different types of motors here. I have these Racer Star. These are 2207 1888 kV motors, and then I have a set of Booster. These are made by, these are like FPV crate motors. These are 2207 1900 kV motors. I get better view of them here. Those are the boosters, and these are the Radiomasters, not Radiomasters, Racer Stars. Jeez, talking radios. ISDT Q6. I like that song. What's it called? What was it called? The one I'm on right now is Radiation by Daxton, and the one before this was Checklist Unknown Artist. I have a feeling that's not right. But if you want it, hit me up on Discord and I'll send you a copy of it. Yeah, so if you're looking for a good charger that will power off the wall through, you know, your wall outlet, the Radiomaster D8 Pro Duo. That's a great charger. I use two of those. Another good charger if you're looking for an ISDT, it's a bit smaller, is the 608 AC by ISDT. It's a smaller charger, has a built-in power supply which can be detached to be used as a standalone power supply, or you can feed in your own 12, 24 volt power supply if you need it. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Scotty, that radio is going to be a Boost typically you'd see a radio like that, like mounted to a tray for some like serious fixed wing flying. Yeah, 900 megahertz internal mounted antenna for the FR Sky, for the tandem. So anyways, which motors do you guys want? Which ones do you want to have? Let's see what the weight difference is on these. Racer Stars are 23.6 or 33.6. Sorry, numbers and words, they mean things, right? 36.5. They're both good motors. The Racer Star, you know, they use flat magnets. The boosted motors, these are curved magnets. Much thicker windings on this one, much thinner. I think these are, yeah, these are still single strand windings. Nice big bearing. Mounting pattern is the same on both of these. I think the booster uses a larger bearing. But anyways, what do you guys think? Mark, both. Well, that's a thought. That is a thought. Careful with HOTA chargers, bought a faulty one, and the only reply I got from them was, "We are sorry. It never did the thing to help. Banggood refunded me, and now I have ISD T2, which is a great charger." What's the camera FOV in? What's the camera? Selcuck? I'm sorry. I'm not sure what you're asking there. Ovonic or CNHL, whichever's cheaper. They're about the same. I use a lot of CNHL just because they're usually cheap when I buy them, but they are big batteries. Like, they are physically larger than most other higher priced batteries for the same S rating and C rating and capacity. Booster. Okay, we have a vote for Booster, we have a vote for Racer Star, we have another vote for both, I guess. Yeah, I would stick with HOTA or ISDT as far as chargers go until some new player comes in the market. The HOTA and the HobbyMate, they're all the same. They just have a lot of features for what you're getting. I do very much like dual channel charging, especially at the races where we have power. I can charge 2 different batteries, I can roll packs. I can do an entire day of racing on like 4 batteries, and I can just roll packs one after another and not need to bring a whole bucket of lipos with me. No, CNHL doesn't deliver to UK anymore. That's a shame. Tattoo packs are very good. They're very expensive for what they are. I like the Race Day Quads packs, the Pyrodrome packs, and above all of those, I prefer the GNB. GNB are kind of my go-to racing packs, where they're not super high dollar and they're not low performance. They're kind of that nice sweet spot. And if I burn one up, I'm upset, but not super upset. Hey Toxic, welcome to the live stream. All right, let's get rid of a set of motors here. Let's get rid of the boosters. We'll get rid of the booster motors. What do you think? Yeah, I think RDQ is GNB. Oh, dropping stuff. Okay, we'll get rid of a set of booster motors. Got a set of 4 2207 1900 kV motors. These are brand new in the box. I've only taken them out just to kind of look at them and fondle them. 36.5 grams each, supposedly. We just weighed them. I can't remember what it said. Naked bottom. Let's do a $5 super chat. $5 gets you in the wheel to get a set of motors. We can do super chat. We can do PayPal. If you can't do super chat, whatever, or you don't want to, you can do PayPal. Just if you do PayPal, make sure you put it in the video comments to say, hey, check PayPal, and I'll put your name on the wheel. I'll cover shipping to anywhere in the US. If you're outside the US, I'll subtract whatever it would cost me to ship them in the US. It's usually about $6. So if you're outside the US and you want a set of these, I'll work with you. All right, so there we go. We'll spin that sucker here in, I don't know, how about 45 minutes or so, if you guys want it. You can save these for another day. New patron today, Manic. Thank you so much, my friend. Just a plug for my Patreon. I do monthly giveaways there. I haven't posted one this month yet. This month has kind of gotten away from me a little bit. I definitely plan on doing it. So stay tuned for that. Toolkit RC is a good charger. Toolkit RC had some issues with it's like the M6 or the M8 when it originally came out. One of the things to note with the new ISDT charger, which model is it? ISDT. The P30 will not discharge, I believe. A buddy of mine has one, and he said it doesn't have provisions for discharging. Let me double check this. ISDT P10 charger does not have storage or discharge options. So keep that in mind. And he even updated it. This was back in November. This is what he told me. So I'm not sure if that's changed, but the ISDT P10, I would probably stay away from. It starts. He's on there. Let's start up a wheel here. Yeah. Wheel of names. Delete. All right. What did I say? $5? It starts. Get you in there twice. Manic. By the way, if you do multiple super chats, I am going to shuffle the wheel prior to drawing it. So it starts on the wheel. Manic FEV is on the wheel, and so is Toxic. Thank you all very much. So far, your chances are pretty good. M8 needs to be calibrated. Does the M8 do wall power, or do you need a separate power supply? All right. So over to the quads that I'm building. I'm not really building any quads. I'm just making changes. So this one here was my primary race rig last year. Super durable, fast. I really like the way it handled. I'm gonna put Tracer into this one, so that's all I have to do to this. Otherwise, she's good to go. I've been using Crossfire with the PCB antennas, and when this thing's on the starting blocks, I get very, very low RSSI with it. This one was kind of a spare part quad. I put a 30x30 flight controller, ESC, these 2207 Velox motors, which are just stupid heavy. I do not like the Velox motors. Maniac. Sorry, dude. I don't know why. My brain reads that differently. So this, I'm going to pull the electronics out of it. This is going to get... what is it going to get? This is going to get a Acon 32 Pro ESC and a iFlight H7. Really excited to try this one. I've seen a lot of really bad things about this flight controller, basically just catching on fire all the time and just being, in general, an unreliable pile of crap. But I bought one, I have it, and I want to try it. I really like Falco X on my 533 Tiny Trainers, so I'm excited to try that out on there. So I've got that going on. I have a QAV-R that has a Sussex D stack that I'm going to pull out and put the flight controller into this. This is my glide frame. This ESC is going into the glide frame, so I want to do a 30x30 ESC, a 20x20 flight controller, and this is also going to be with a Caddx Vista Pro. VTX, that's it. Jeez, words, hard. So that's what's going to go into this. So I got some work ahead of me. I do have some parts coming from Pyrodrone for these two builds. Well, for one of these builds. Octane, why do you like that frame? It flies extremely well and it's very durable. Unfortunately, it is a little bit heavy. Xeno, €5. I'm sure it's not $5, but whatever. We'll go with it. Remember, you got to cover shipping. Rick Cepeda, $4.99. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Don't spin that shit. Got Rick Cepeda, son of a biker, $5 dues. Eric Allen just built a glide with a Vista. Yeah, I plan on putting a Vista in it. I'm trying to keep it as light as possible, but also with that said, I'm putting a Vista in it, so it's going to work out. I also bought Tommy Tihabata, Oh My God's 250 frame. Pre-ordered it, I should say, and I also bought a set of his 2002 motors. I think they're 2002s. What are they? Yeah, the 2004 motors. I bought a set of those. Those are on the way. His frame's not out there yet, but it's a pre-release. That frame is going to be very specific to the motors it uses. He's got it designed, the motors for the frame. They use a 12x12 mounting, so be careful if you guys are out there looking at those 2004 motors. They're all 12x12 mounts, and most quads like this are not 12x12. These are, I think, 16x16, maybe 19x19, I don't know. I'll give you guys the right information here. These are, yeah, 16x16 mounting. So be careful when you order motors. Make sure they fit the frame that you're planning on putting it in. Because I was going to put those 2004 motors on this. I thought they'd be pretty slick, but yeah, obviously they're not going to fit, unfortunately. Family Guyver, $5. Going on the wheel once. Thank you. Oh. And Sean CSV, is that what that is? Says, I'm a newbie, looking forward to my first build. Hope I get the motors. I hope you get them too. I hope you all get them. I know it's not the case. 5 US euros is $6. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Let's see. I gave also, if you haven't been paying attention to my channel, I have this guy up on there, the Sub 250 FPV crate for January. The video's live, and I'm doing a giveaway of this probably next weekend. So make sure you watch that video, like, subscribe, comment, and then hit the giveaway link in there to get entered. The last winner of the QAV-S 3-inch frame, turned out it was a youngster that didn't have a PayPal account, didn't have any cash, couldn't cover shipping. You know what? Send it anyways, because well, if I can get someone into the hobby and that's what starts it, I'm happy with that. All right. I've also got this thing. I don't really want this either. Maybe another day. Give that guy away. And for that glide frame, I have these. These are the Newbie Drone flow motors. I wanted to go with like T motors or something super light, but these, although they're not the lightest motors out there, they are. These are pretty high quality, and they're like Samguk type of price too. 33.6 grams for 2306 and a half. So these are a heck of a deal. Hard to pass up, very hard to pass up, but I'm gonna go with those in the Glide build. Maniac, I got it right this time. Another one. Let's do it. All right. It starts 2. It starts 2. What happened? It starts 2. It starts 2. Yeah, I hear good things about the flow motors as well. The smooth motors, those look pretty neat. They're just not for me. I don't want to go that crazy with it. Typo. All right, so I guess we could triage this stuff, go easy to hardest first. So let's get cracking on this guy here. I know it's silly, but prop tools. This is the nicest prop tool I've got a couple of prop tools, and this thing is awesome. It's got a one-way sprag clutch in it. If you don't know what a sprag clutch is, it's a one-way element, so it only turns a certain direction. So the clear anodizing is off, and the black is on. I work in the aviation industry, and we use these little plastic pin extracting tools to pull pins out of connectors, and the white end is always out, so it's always white out. So I remember that this white out. That's just the way I remember it. And they're all color coded for different size pins and different size wires. Made by a company called Daniels Manufacturing. Does anybody in the chat race? I'm kind of curious. Over on my my Discord for the patron members, I asked if someone would be interested in designing me a multi-GP race. Like I said, we have our race next weekend, and we don't have a race track built up. The guy who usually does our tracks, he got out of the hobby late last year, and I was going to see if somebody wanted to build a track. Typically, what we'll do is he would plan the track out in like SketchUp, and then he would build it up in Velocidrone, and then we'd end up building it one of the weekends and racing it. Octane, do you freestyle? Yes, I do. I do freestyle. I do just about everything. if someone said you can only do one race or freestyle, I would choose race. For some reason, the way my brain works, racing has an obtainable goal to have a shorter time than the prior race. For flying for yourself and just relaxing and having fun and shooting the shit, I love acro. I love it. But I like more than that indoor micro racing, because that is have a beer, hang out with your friends, real low threat, real low cost. Micro racing is the funnest type of flying that I've ever done. That's just my opinion, though. I'm getting into whoop racing. Whoop race, toxic. Yeah, whoop racing is like the funnest thing. It is so much fun. PL2, I flew in a multi-GP race in Knoxville last year. Oh, awesome. Probably a good time. EDOC, I want to start racing, but there has been a race event locally since 2017, and restrictions keep killing any restart efforts. That is the big issue, is finding A, a venue, and B, the people. It requires quite a bit to get going. Rick Spada, I can't wait to get Tommy's sub 250 frame. I have his motors already, can't wait to fly them. Yeah, actually, it was your message is what prompted me to go get it. I didn't realize it was available for pre-order, and that's why I went and got it. So thanks for the heads up on that, Rick. Beep2, you met Bardwell there. Yeah, I've heard he does some racing over in Knoxville. Kind of curious how good of a racer is, because I've never really seen too much race footage from him. Maniac, you're a conehead. I don't know what that means. What drone do you use for freestyle? I have a couple different ones. For 5-inch freestyle, my main go-to right now is the what's it called? The Impulse RC Apex HD, and my next will be the Glide. Great 3-inch racing drone is definitely the 533 Tiny Trainer. It's not the latest, it's not the fastest, but it, out of the ones I've flown, is the most funnest. Drone Pilot, welcome, buddy. Toxic, if you have signed up for my local multi-GP chapter, also I can go to some events when they get kicked back up. Yeah, we're actually kind of worried that our chapter might die. We've had a lot of people fall off, especially with the Rona this year, or last year, local restrictions, whatnot. We had a hurricane come through and it really messed up our infrastructure at the field. We had power, we put it in a year and a half ago. I wired up the little area that we fly out of. Hurricane came through and wrecked the building that our power was running off of, so we're back to running off generators and car batteries, unfortunately. Toxic, I placed 7th in the Tiny Whip Go Series, the winter brushless event championship round. I ended up winning some Weebleed FPV gates. Oh, that's awesome, man. Maniac, how do you find your local chapter? Look up in multigp.com, or just Facebook is another good place to try to find chapters near you. Tweet from Rick Spada says, I race whoops and only hear frame in our spec race class. Absolute blast. Work on a track layout this afternoon for you. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, so Rick Spada, what he's referring to is I released the files for my cavity frame, and his little group there has been doing a spec race with this frame, a 3D printed frame, which keeps the cost quite a ways down, makes it very easy to get into. Let me drop a link for that here. I'll find it. My designs. There we go. Here is the link to my frame. Yeah, Beep2 Barwell doesn't race a lot. He's pretty active in the Knoxville area, helping out all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see, you know, I race a lot. I am not good at it by any stretch of the imagination, but I have a lot of fun. When I show up at a race, I know my place. I know I'm not going to win. I just want to race and complete and not DNF out of every freaking flight, and I'm fine with that. I think that's something that everybody needs to keep in mind when they start racing is you're probably not going to win. You're probably not going to be the best. You might be the worst. Just have fun with it. Try not to break everything. That's just the way I look at it. But I don't have a very competitive nature anyway, so whatever. Oh, that's what you call the avionics guys at work. The avionics guys at work, where I work, we're called tweets. Hence the name, Tweet FPV. I don't think I've ever told anybody that. Yeah, so we're referred to as tweets. Drone pilot, he's talking about a little bit of advanced OpenTX work there. OpenTX is super powerful. There's a lot you can do with it. Kearns JW out with the family, cannot stay. Just wants to say hi. Welcome, buddy. Thanks for stopping in, and we'll see you around. Have fun. Have fun with the family. Oh, let's see. There's no connectors or anything besides JST SH and DuPont connectors in my parts inventory. Honestly, you don't need a whole lot of DuPonts, but you need different pitch JST connectors. Some stuff uses 2.0, some uses 1.25. It kind of depends on what you're working on, but basically, when you get connectors, just don't throw them away. I end up reusing and repurposing a lot of connectors before I buy new ones. But SH, I think HX. Yeah, JST XH are the ones you're going to want for repairing balance leads. I would say probably the most common one I end up using for repairing balance leads is the XH. Let's see. Beep2, I feel like finishing a race is a win. Exactly, that's exactly how I feel about it. And I race against myself. I want to know that I improved. And that's just the way to go with it. Eric Allen, that's why I'm scared to race. I don't want to piss off the good pilots. Nope, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that one bit. Most people will be happy if you piss off the good pilots because there's always that one person who is just destroying everybody and has no competition. And if you piss them off, they usually enjoy that. Yeah. And with racing, dude, just run what you bring. You know, the first couple races I did, I raced my Armatan Rooster. It was a terrible quad to do that with. Every time you land in the grass, it was impossible to get back up because it's a top-mounted battery. Race pilots are typically super friendly. Even the super competitive ones, if you're flying in a local multi-GP chapter, it doesn't mean shit. It's just for bragging rights. The only time they get a little pissy is during the multi-GP national qualifier races because that's kind of serious business to try to get to that event. But even then, you know, just do your thing. Toxic. That's my biggest problem is I can run a track by myself and kill it. As soon as that timer goes off, I am a bundle of nerves and I get nervous. I crash. It turns into a complete shit show as soon as that timer goes off. I don't know how to get over that. That's what I like about micro racing. You have a couple pops, you know what I mean? And it kind of loosens you up. Or it does for me anyways. Crunked, how do you even get into the drone industry? Maybe it's really regionally specific. How do you get into the drone industry? What do you mean, like flying commercially or producing products? One-inch, 3-inch race would be cool. Yeah, I've always liked the idea of spec racing, but I've also disliked the idea of spec racing. It's tough to tell everybody this is what you have to have. Some people push back really hard against it. Some people don't. Some people are really accepting of it. I don't know. I like the idea of spec racing though. It doesn't become an arms race at that point. Yeah, Madfish, that's an awesome way to look at it. There's more losers than winners at a race, so it's best to focus on the fun. Damn, that's deep right there. Oh boy, lots of chat jumped. Yeah, Rick Cepeda, that's what I like. That's the idea I like about spec racing. We tried doing a spec race with the Baby Hawk 2 when that came out. I think we did like 2 spec races and it fell off. A lot of people didn't want to pay for inferior equipment to race them, but I think if you did a spec race where you supplied the quads would be kind of cool, but obviously that's going to cost a lot of money out of somebody's pocket. But then at that point it's DRL. Archangel says, I feel I should warn you if you're starting out, don't invest too much into analog unless you intend to race. DJ is probably the way to go. Controversial but true. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. Analog is here to stay. It has a place until DJI figures its shit out and allows and it makes it so it plays nice with digital pilot or analog pilots. Analog is always going to be here. I would say if I think we'd get more people racing if DJI didn't interfere with analog. But then there's also micros and whoops and stuff like that, which is going to be primarily analog until DJI somehow gets that light. But if you're looking to buy just one pair of goggles, DJI is the way to go because DJI can do something that analog goggles can never ever do, and that's digital. You can put an analog module on your DJI goggles and have all the fun of analog guys with the benefit of digital. Just my 2 cents though. Just picture a group of fanovers that would be fun to be around. Wouldn't be. No, in my experience, races at the local level they're chill. You know, the only thing that really irritates and pisses people off is if somebody plugs in or just doesn't follow the rules at a race. The rules are very, very simple. Only plug in when you're supposed to. Announce when you're plugging in. Even like the fun fly parts, I've plugged in when I thought somebody was unplugged and they crashed their quad and yard sailed their shit. And you know, I mean, I felt bad, but it happens. Just don't be that guy that goes there and bitches about how bad your video is and says that it's somebody else. It's probably this guy's got a bad VTX or this guy's on a high power. It's probably you. You know, video issues cause people to get really irritated really quick. Just know that it may not be somebody else. It may be you that has the problem. Yeah, that's about the only way I've beaten the really fast guys is their equipment failed. One dude had Crossfire do some crazy stuff and his quad just went to the moon uncontrollably and he couldn't finish the race and I won. That's about the only time I came in first. Micro racing is a totally different story. I'm actually fairly good at micro racing. I don't know why, but I'm better flying micros than I am 5-inch racing. So the field we go to, we have a fun fly channel. So if you go there and you're just kind of having fun, everybody has their own assigned fun fly channel. But when you go to race, the way the lifetime software works, it gives everybody a frequency and a orientation of antenna, and you just got to change it as needed. Yeah, I'm talking about flying commercially. So flying commercially is tough to get into unless you are providing everything. You're providing the insurance, the Part 107, the equipment, and you're basically a sole contractor. And you got to eat crow for a while. Like, you get your name out there, start doing real estate gigs, doing schools, do some pro bono stuff, get your name out there. Build a profile, you got to build a social media presence. Like, unfortunately, these are the things that are needed. If you get a Part 107, you have a possibility of getting employment from other companies, like the oil rigs here in Southern Alabama. They hire Part 107 pilots to do rig inspections. They get paid a lot of money. Like, it's stupid. But as with everything, it's an emergent technology. As it becomes more popular, the jobs go down, or the availability of jobs go down, and the pay goes down. So it's just something to think about. EDOC, yes, the DRL is awesome looking, and the Tiny Trainer is just like a tiny DRL racer. That's the whole point of it. It's heavy, you use a lot of throttle all the time, but it's fun, just the way it flies. DJI isn't one as friendly at the moment. No, it's not. Not without putting in a regulator. Works today. That's interesting. Evan at the 533 will do discounts for clubs for the Tiny Trainer for spec racing. That's interesting. Didn't know that. A drone pilot. There's a bunch of people out there making naked Vista conversions, but that just seems like a terrible idea. It's a good way to waste $120 or whatever a Vista costs. That thing needs those heat sinks for a reason. Drone pilot, do you know if you can fly a traditional 2.4 gigahertz video system with your main 5.8 radio? So Crossfire is used for second radio on 1.4 gigahertz as well as a second camera control photography person. All right, I gotta reread this. Do you know if you can fly it in addition to it? Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely do that. It's definitely possible. You'd kind of have to figure out. I mean, it's not super straightforward, but it's definitely possible. So use Crossfire and a separate video transmitter for like a camera operator, and a 2.4 and 5.8 for the pilot. It's very doable. How to do it? I've never thought about how to do it, but it'd be like a 2-flight controller system, or you could use Crossfire for the camera control. If you had on a gimbal with servos, you can use servo outputs from the Crossfire to run the servos. You'd have to do some mixer wizardry in OpenTX, or you could use another flight controller to control the camera and the servo for auto leveling. It's all very possible. It's just a matter of time and putting the puzzle pieces together. Yeah, Kebab's 2S 5-inch build looks pretty good. There's a couple manufacturers that are trying to hit this 250 mark. And of the two that are going to be able to do it, it's going to be Oh My God and Kebab. Those are the two that I would expect to get there and produce a product that's actually worth a damn. That's not the right size driver. Okay, drone pilot. So, drone controlled 5.8 video crossfire, then gimbal 2.4 video, and 2.4 gigahertz control. Yeah, you're gonna have issues with 2.4 video and 2.4 control. It's possible. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Like I said before, it's going to come down to how you deal with all the hardware. How you deal with the mixes between the two systems. The only issue I would say is I would probably not do 2.4 gigahertz video. I'd probably do like 1.3, something that's on a different band. 1.3 will cause issues with crossfire, but you can put notch filters in and get around that. Oh man, I soldered this thing in. I really wish I would have done that. All right. Yeah, there's got to be a way to do it. It's going to be a way that's easier than others, I'm sure. Oh my God, Rob Logan, 15 bucks on there 3 times. Let's, all right. Yeah, you guys keep me honest on that time. I'm probably gonna get sidetracked here, as I quite often do. Oh man, so pinning these receivers seems like a really good idea, but then when you have to remove them, it's kind of pain in the you-know-whats. Yeah, drone pilot, that is a lot going on one quad. Not sure how DJI does it on their Matrice. They do an operator and a camera operator, or a pilot and operator setup. But there's definitely a way to do it, just depending on how much time and effort you want to put into it. So I redid the range test with Crossfire, Tracer, R9, and Archer with the new Tracer firmware, and I reoriented the antennas on the 900 MHz system, and I definitely got different results. Quite a bit different. And then I've also did a video where I cranked everything up to 11, and I ran full power on everything. See what the difference would be like. And unfortunately, my Crossfire setup, I have the V1, so I can only go up to 250 milliwatts. That versus R9 at 1 watt, there is a huge chasm difference for sure. Oh, second radio in trainer mode. That might be a better choice there. That's not a bad idea at all. You could do you could pass channels through from the trainer radio to the output radio. Yeah, I think it'd be better than a whole separate RF system for sure. And then there's even like Bluetooth trainer systems, like on the X9 Lite. I'm sure there's others, but I know the X9 Lite S has a wireless trainer. I'm pretty sure it does. I've never used it, but pretty sure it does. Andrew Matthews, I have a Tiny Hawk S sitting here, but I have burnt out my battery connector, out the battery pads. Do you reckon I can change them out, or is my board done? You're saying the pads on the flight controller are, you lifted those? If you lifted those, you're probably out of luck. I'd say if you're asking that question, you're probably out of luck. There's always, there could be a way to get in there and find the trace and resolder to it, but not super likely. Oh, see, my Crossfire is full 2 watt, top of the range. All I need is Bluetooth, second radio, and I'm done. These extra channels from 8 to 12. That's okay. I'm gonna live with that. Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best way. Andrew Matthews, I would say you're probably gonna just need to get a new board. You can try to scrape back some of the solder mask where the pads are and see if you can find the traces and solder back to the traces. It's extremely difficult to do. Does require quite a bit of soldering skill. There's always a way, but most likely just get a new board. Sorry. Wish I could give you better news than that. Oh, it's such a pain in the butt to remove. Well, there's one surefire way to remove this. I didn't want to do it. Let's see. What are your thoughts on a Fat Shark Dom V3 with Furious D diversity for 200 pounds? It's probably not a bad buy. The Dom V3's not a bad goggle. The Furious D diversity is a pretty old, outdated receiver. There are definitely much better receivers out there. But if you don't have any other goggles, that's not a bad starting point. Dallas, hey, what's up? What I miss? A lot. I bet. Yeah, trying to get some of these quads ready for racing next week. Got a lot of work to do. Also doing a super chat giveaway for a set of blaster motors or booster motors, 2207 1900 kV motors, $5 super chat, which I think we're just about ready to spin that sucker. So if anybody wants to get on that, last call, $5 super chat for some Motorbs. Brand new, never installed, fondled, but never slaughtered. Andy Taylor, I got a X-Night 4-inch. No luck with that damn radio either. Got an X-Night 4-inch, no luck with that damn radio either. What radio are we talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about FR Sky because that's what everybody's talking about. Okay, Alan, $5. In the wheel yet again. No, that's first time. There we go. All right. Let's see, Rob Logan, it's about time. Okay, yes, you are correct. I designed a single screw mount TPU for the 900 MHz antenna, holding them 100% above the quad. Just need external antenna for CRSF. Works perfectly, 4 grams. You have a link for that on Thingamaverse? If you do, go ahead and plop it down there in the chat. I'd like to see that. All right, let's see, it's 3:20 here. Let's go ahead and get this wheel going. Here we go. We have the wheel for the 4 of these booster motors, 2207. These are like a 6S power range motor. Decent little motors. Nothing crazy, but they are motors nonetheless. We have It Starts, Maniac, Toxic, Zero, Rick Zapata, Son of a Biker, Family Guyver, Sean CSV, Maniac again, Rob Logan for a triple pack, and Eric Allen. Please let me know if that is not everybody. I'm pretty sure it is. Copy link address. Let's go take a look at this real quick. Oh, that's not what I wanted. All right, let's go ahead and Speedy. Nope, haven't missed it yet. Haven't spun it. $5 super chat, get you on the wheel. We'll give it another couple minutes. You'll win this because you only have 4S lipos. They'll still fly on 4S, just not very well. Give it a few more minutes. Oh, one wheel news. I got a set of fangs for my XR. Looking forward to putting those on. The irony is that I used my XR to go get the fangs, and I nose dove to while I was going to get them because that's just how things work. I'm gonna let these dogs out real quick. Come on, guys. I'll go too. There you go. Getting really good at detecting when I'm going to nosedive and learning how to run it off. Speedy Turtle, it is going to be for 2207 1900 kV booster motors. I don't know why this is open. In white. Pretty cool looking little motor.
I'm a mess. Don't know how I got here, but I'm blessed. Didn't know it'd take me past my test.
Oh, Toxic, you got it. You got it covered right there. Thanks, man. Yeah, I've been riding off-road a lot and kind of getting a feel for, as soon as it tips a little bit past center, I know to start like kind of running with it. Of course, these are all very low speed get-offs. I couldn't imagine dumping it at speed, how horrific that would be. Hence why the fangs are going on that board, because it's not a lot of money to spend. It makes the board look a little bit uglier, but it is 100% worth it if I can avoid really getting screwed up. It's not gonna save you from hurting yourself. It's just gonna give you a couple seconds to think before you hit the concrete. Speedy Turtle on the board. All right, buddy. Let's start you up there. EDOC, it's possible to even go high speed on a one wheel. Nosedives happening at low speeds kill them for me. Also, the lack of warning. Need beeps. UCs, yeah, there are some things that are very lacking on a one wheel. High speed on a one wheel, I don't know, I could do 16 miles an hour without even really knowing it. That's fast enough to really, F your shit up if you nosedive on concrete. It does give you plenty of warning if you know what you're looking for, but it does give you plenty of warning if you know what you're looking for. But with all of these things, there are weird little quirks that can happen. The low speed ones are usually just like cruising around the ground and then like the tire going into a hole and going bleh, and knocking you over. A larger diameter wheel would definitely help. That's why the EUCs can typically be a little bit better, but I'd like to try writing at EUC. Just published it on Thingiverse. Let's go take a look at this thing. Single screw Myrtle T holder, 100% leather frame. That is a interesting design. So you just pull the cap off, or you okay, you just jam the whole thing in there. Pull the little rubber cap off and slam her in there. That's a decent looking little design. I do have my own crossfire antenna type dealie somewhere. Where is it? This one right here. So this is for a 30mm standoff, but it's pretty easy to adapt to just about anything else. It puts it halfway under the frame, so it's kind of a mix between above and below. Kind of like show. But lots of different ways to skin that cat. Speedy, no, I didn't get a chance to look at it. I'll definitely look at it tonight. Just haven't had a chance. I've got dad duty with this little one. I'm surprised she's not riding her one wheel around. Yeah, she's just kind of lounging around. How do you like this camera view? This is kind of interesting. Got my GoPro clipped to the ceiling. I don't know, something a little different. GoPro Hero 8 and 9 can do it. I don't think you can do it on older models. You being a dork? Yeah, 8. So go to Facebook and there's a beta GoPro webcam group, and you can get the software there. Pretty easy to set up if it works. It can be a little bit buggy sometimes. Keep going. Go. She's so light she can barely make the front pad work. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and spin this wheel. Browse it. All right, folks, this is for the motors. Let's go ahead and shuffle these names here, and good luck, everybody. Thank you for playing along, and here we go. Who's it gonna be? Somebody who has nothing but forest lipos. It's Maniac FBV. Congratulations, my friend. Hit me up on Discord, email, whatever. Go to tweetfbv.com and you can find links to Discord, email, Patreon, all the fun stuff over there. Congratulations. There we go, just so I don't forget who won those. All right, good deal. Congratulations. All right, let's get this receiver off here. Okay, so soldering's not working too well, so we'll just do it the shitty way. Toxic says I'm going to hit you up this week about getting grips put on my Radiomaster. I have camo, but I want to get that Ciati purple. That Ciati purple is good looking stuff. He asked me about doing a purple pattern or purple color way back, and that was the one that we came up with was one out of like 4. There was one that I really liked, and so did he and everybody else, but the adhesive on it was just absolute garbage. So that's the one we settled on. Maniac, your videos behind by a minute. Well, congratulations in the past. Drone Pilot, initially I was using your mount on Thingiverse for CRSF, but half down meant the return path, I lost quality. It's blocked by frame and battery. Yeah, that's definitely one of the downsides to the way I had it designed. I got a careful in here for a minute. The best way to do that would probably be to cut the pins off instead of clipping them like I did. Toxic, hopefully made in the Cinesplorer Monday or Tuesday when I get the AIO. Can't wait to get that bird in the air. Yeah, Cinesplorer is the best flying cinematic style GoPro hauler I've flown. I think it has to do with the weight, and those ducts that are on it are something special with that combination. All right, well that was a pain in the butt. Heat that sucker up. I saw the preview for that video. I just haven't. It's been a busy week. I haven't had a chance to go and watch it, but I definitely want to. Speed Turtle. I'm working on one of my race builds. This is a Pyrocube frame. Doing the upgrade to tracer on it. So. Kind of a pain in the butt right now. There we go. You got in the mood to work on quads. I don't have much to do, unfortunately. Yeah, this clamp, I swear every time I use this thing in a video, everybody, oh, you got the STL, got the STL, got the STL. If you're looking for this, go to Thingiverse and look up Yet Another Vise. And it's usually the very first one that shows up. Yeah, so getting these pins off, I just cut them and then just heating them up and pushing them back through the other side. And you get a different bench cam. I don't mind this camera I'm using, this Logitech Brio, but I'd much rather use a better camera. So my old streaming setup, I used this the Sony a5100 for my bench cam because I thought that seeing what I'm doing in the bench in higher detail was more important than seeing my face in higher detail, which I still think is true. I just plan on doing the update or the change a little bit later. I just haven't gotten around to it. Go let these dogs in. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Just a sec. Let's see. If anyone has issues soldering, running up thick wires, I developed a simple method years ago to how to stop that from happening. And these tools that do it, it's on my channel. It's called Neat Soldering. Yeah, so I have gone to a couple schools for soldering just through my line of work in aviation. I went to one. It's basically NASA standards soldering. I can't remember what the class was. It's been so long. But we use anti-wicking tweezers on everything that we soldered, just because having a wicked wire is it's grounds for rejection. In this hobby, wicking the wires isn't, life or death. It's not a huge issue, but it is one nonetheless. Elston, right now I'm using the Sequire. I don't remember the model, but it's the one that looks like the TS100. Good soldering iron. It's not my normal iron. Normal bench iron I use is the Hakko 888D. I just doing it out here. Drone pilot, I'm an electrical engineer, and before silicone wire I had to find a way to stop plastic coated wire from melting. Yeah, so all the wire I solder at work is, it's not Kapton wire because that stuff's terrible. It's all pre-tinned, Teflon coated, like double coated wire. Working on helicopters, so light is key. Actually, that wire is extremely easy to solder. It's almost easier than silicone coated wire, but nothing we use at work is silicone coated, so it's not a thing for us. I always hated work with that stupid plastic coated wire. I've used like the electric wire strippers before, and that seemed to be that was my favorite way of stripping that wire without burning the jacket. Still sucked though. It's way too much effort just to put tracer in this stupid thing. But it's worth it. Sorry if I'm not talking, I'm really trying to focus on getting this stupid pin out of here. There we go. Got it. Let's see, how do I turn this stupid thing off? There we go. Ooh, that took way too much effort. Let's see. Drone pilot, when we first started the engineering course, we had to solder a lattice 3D grid of a 1x1 cube, solder it a large box 20x20. You get good soldering on walls. And yeah, I've done some silly stuff like that. I mean, not that silly, but it's kind of I don't know. It's still silly. I've done some stuff like that while I was sitting around in class. But some of the stuff that I've seen that other people have done was pretty impressive. I don't know how far I'm going to get on these builds today. I'll probably just, if I have to jump off here, I'll probably just start up another live stream and just go at it. And you guys, if you're around and want to come hang out, that's cool. If not, I mean, I'll be here. That's most of how I started in the YouTube game, is I just started recording the stuff that I was doing. So I was doing some different stuff that was not what you were seeing from a lot of other people. My round 2 of receiver range testing, that should be out this week, Wednesday. Oh, I forgot. If anybody cares, birthday's tomorrow. Be 39. Probably should have mentioned that earlier. But I don't have low self-esteem. I have no self-esteem. Never was instilled with self-esteem growing up as a child. Never really thought about it. But Ben, thank you. Thanks, I appreciate that. Birthdays are weird. I've never been a big subscriber to birthdays. Speedy, happy belated birthday to you as well. I feel like the day that you should celebrate is like an achievement day. What day was the day that you achieved something great for yourself or in your life? Not when you were born. I mean, everybody has a birthday, right? Is it really all that special? I don't know. Just me waxing poetic over here. Just kind of a thought. I mean, I know a birthday kind of marks the passage of time and in a person's life, but I don't know. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? How do you feel about birthdays? Yeah, drone pilot. To me, it's just another day. People around me get more excited about it than I do. Kid's passed out again. Yosa, Yogi, did I miss it? Miss what? Oh, the giveaway. Yeah, we already did the giveaway for the motors. Sorry. I'll probably be doing a giveaway for something else next week. If you're a Patreon, or if you're one of my patrons, I do monthly giveaways. I have a full built quad. Could be a 5-inch, could be a micro, could be something. I don't know. I do that every month. I haven't put one out this month. I'm a little behind. I plan on doing it probably sometime today. So if you're a patron, watch out for that. They suck after 50-ish and blow after 60. Yeah. Zeno, thanks a lot for sticking around, buddy. We'll see you around. Hope to catch you next time. I don't mind the attention. I wouldn't say I like it, but I don't know. It's just something. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy soldered up here. So I've got the let's see. Just gotta send a message here. All right. Sorry, I've been doing this while standing on a one wheel, just because. Why not, right? You're starting to get sore already. All right, so we're gonna put tracer on this guy. I have one tracer receiver left. Out of the 3-pack, one of them went into my 533 Tiny Trainer. The other one is on my my test rig, which a lot of people hate because reasons. And this one, I got another one coming for a different quad. Oh, so Speedy, if you print that vise, my recommendation is the cross pins. So there's little pins here that go through that secure the two sides together. I recommend reducing these in the Z-axis, so make them thinner. I always found every time I printed this, I had a lot of trouble pressing the pins through the two halves. So I would make them a little bit thinner on the Z-axis. That's just my recommendation. That's kind of what I noticed with them. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this slaughtered up. Working with pins is a little different than kind of what we're used to. Get some solder. Using the one with the one large gear. No, let me just see if I can find it here. It's the very first one that comes up. That's the one. That's the one I'm using. I haven't tried any other designs. There may be better out there, but this is just the one that I printed the first time, and I really, really like it. It's been a very integral part of my bench setup since I made it. So, I'm just trying to turn off on me. No, you don't do that. So anyways, I just solder up one pin, and then what I'll do is I'll hold the whole stack down and reflow it to make sure they're straight, and then just go through and solder up the other three. I was at a bad angle, you guys probably can't see it. So here's what I think about birthdays. For the last couple birthdays I've had, like probably the last 10, I've been working at this with the same types of people for the same company, and I usually buy everybody dinner on my birthday. A little different than what most people do. There's a version with a large center gear. The only thing about this one that I also had to do is I had to run a tap down the threads, but I haven't printed it on a really good printer. Yeah, it starts. Jeez, man, you guys are all over it. Drum paddle, by the way, I installed the Diversity Nano in my 7-inch. The first two TX and RX channels are not by default TX and RX. Really? That's interesting. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. Hail, Source V? No, this is the Pyrocube 5-inch race frame. Rick Cepeda asks, I had the same problem with the pins. I just sanded mine a little with the sanding block and sandpaper. Yeah, that could definitely work. But I mean, if you're gonna print them out, you might as well just shorten them or thin them out a little bit. So I'd say with my streaming setup, my bench camera is probably needs about the most improvement. So I have my my Elgato Keylight Air here, and I have a Manfrotto 244 camera arm. Super nice camera arm. Definitely like the first piece of like high-end kit that I bought, and I bought a couple of them since. They're very nice. And then I have a Joby swivel head with my Logitech Brio camera. I've also got another Brio here, which I don't really use for streaming. I use this for my computer because it's one of the few cameras that has Windows Hello facial recognition in it, and I absolutely love that. I'll probably try changing this out for my A5100, and I want to get an A6400 for that guy right there. But that comes with a lot of other issues, because then I'll have to get a different capture card, because this stupid Elgato capture card just is not cutting the mustard. Really sensitive to USB ports and installing other devices and all that. So I'll probably avoid that one if I can. All right, so this is the Tracer, which I'm a really big fan of the Tracer. It's a very good system. It's just not long distance, like for some reason everybody seems to be under the impression, due to certain marketing claims. Oh, I just got a message. My wife's on her way home, so if I have to step off here, we appreciate every single one of you coming out to say hi, have fun, hang out with the shenanigans we got going on here. I'm really proud of my daughter for not being a pain in the butt. She's awesome. She's just a super awesome little kid. I'm sure everybody says that about their own kids, but she's really cool. She's been going mountain biking with me. She's been learning the one-wheel thing. You know, she's doing things that other little kids her age either won't do, don't do, or just can't do. I do realize that she has access to a lot more things than most kids do. One of the nice things about the Tracer setup is all the configuration, pin out and everything, it's exactly the same as Crossfire, so it's kind of a one-for-one swap. I think I installed that the right way. Maybe I didn't. Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, she's turning into one. She didn't used to be. She was all about mommy for a while, but lately she's kind of going, hanging out with both of us, doing things. So it's kind of strange with the Tracer. on the little pin headers, it doesn't sit flat. There's not enough clearance. So it's kind of floating a little bit above, which I'm not super excited about, but whatever, it is what it is. About 11-ish when my daughter turned a day's girl, says Eric Allen. I figured she would eventually. Just we're kind of waiting. My wife's been waiting too. She's ready for a little bit of a break, if you know what I mean, from having the kid hanging off her all the time. She didn't help though. I mean, she certainly incites it a little bit. So something that's cool with the tracer, if nobody knew this, it does come with this deeper module back, so it'll fit inside the X9 Lite, but that's something you'll have to do if you do have an X9 Lite and want to go with tracer. And this is where I think tracer missed the boat, is 2 antennas. Like, I mean, who wants to mess with 2 antennas? I'd say the 2 biggest reasons for me not finishing a race is one, well, both are because of crashes, because duh. One is clipping an antenna with 900 megahertz. Like, as soon as you clip an antenna and get close to the ground, you're done. So it's antennas and broken LiPo straps or ejected batteries. I kind of could think it's the same thing. So those are, for me, the 2 big reasons why I DNF. I think going forward, I'm not going to use these mounting boards. I've just not been super impressed with them. Gosh, I hate UFLs. Ugh. I don't really like MCX either, but I gotta deal with that mess. Figure where to put these stupid antennas. Let's see. Octane, how much longer are you gonna stream for? Oh, until my wife gets home. Probably 10, 20 minutes. Rick Spada says, that's the only complaint about tracer. Sometimes it's really hard to find a place to mount both the antennas. Yeah, I know you can run with just one, and it'll be just fine. I just, I don't know. I'd really like to. I know you can run with just one antenna and it'll be okay, but with racing, I don't want that to be the reason why I don't finish a race. XM Pluses do run 2 antennas, yes. Okay, yeah, maybe I should rephrase that. 2 T-shaped antennas is very frustrating to work with, and it seems wholly unnecessary. All right, well.
I think I gotta rethink the whole stack layout of this entire quad. It always loosens up. I hate working with M2 hardware on these things. I mean, some of the people I race with, they fly an XM, one antenna, and they just wad the antenna up and throw it on their canopy. They don't even stick it out of the arm. It's perfectly fine. Yeah, I don't like the way the receiver's mounted in this thing. I don't like the way a lot of stuff's mounted in this quad. I might actually break this down and go back to square one with it. Alright folks, well, I think my wife's home, so I gotta jump off here. I will, I'll probably spark up the live streaming machine when I get back to working on this. Just might as well, you know, shoot the shit, hang out while I'm doing that. But I think that's gonna do it for now. I'll come back to work on this in a little bit. And I'll bring you guys along if I remember to turn it on. All right, folks, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you wanna help me out, or you like what I'm doing, make sure you head over to tweetfb.com. Check out all the links and the affiliate links in there. If you're planning on purchasing from any of those vendors, click the link before you buy anything. It gives me a small cut. It's a very easy way for you to support me. If you want to support me big time, head over to Patreon. Remember, I do giveaways over there every month. Early access to content, some unreleased content comes over there. Yeah. All right, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking this out. And I don't know why I say it that way. I don't like it every time I say it, but thanks for stopping by, and I will see you all next time. Peace.